Shivasti. And ready to now move still deeper, still more mesmerizingly euphoric, still more rhythmically aligned, and still clear, completely shining into the vision, into the shift of the new age coming. Our journey has meandered so beautifully the past 5 days to its penultimate night of practice tonight. As we have completely worked on processes, on sounds, on breath work, breath flows, of dharanas and meditations, of prana consciousness, to consciously release everything that has existed in our systemics thus far. Bonds, bondages, we call them granthis in the yogic way. There are granthis or knots or entanglements in our systems that tie us to the worldly cycles and multi-cycles of karma that make us return and return every time we think we've hit highway. So when we're talking about hit highway, of course, the understanding of most yogic, most spiritual, most consciousness practices remains in our minds, in our programmed understanding of something that is called nirvana, moksha, essentially getting out of the cycle of life and death and everything that comes between those journeys that we choose. That has been programmed into our understanding, that we come from source, and our journeys through all the experiences, all the explorations, all the realms and lifetimes and every yoni, every loka that we choose to exist is all about tasting or becoming and being every aspect of that whole source that is all that is and not. So if the journey is all about this whole experience to only go back into becoming what we innately are, into becoming that source from where we come, then why embark at all? If all this is mithya, all this is maya, then why chase anything at all? Why be anything at all? Why pursue life or lives across realms and lifetimes? So I truly believe I treat this life and the consciousness journeys as nothing being an illusion or maya, really, as we understand maya. It is not mithya in the real term, the literal term mithya or untruth. Everything is true. If I come from a space where I say everything is that, everything, so to me is Shiva and Shakti, then how can anything be untrue or an illusion if the only truth in my understanding is that vibration that I call my Shiva, my Shakti? that sthiti, that state of consciousness, who I know to be, who I name as Shiva Shakti, how can anything be not part of that whole? And then how can anything be mithya or untrue? It is perspective, it is how we look at everything that is in the multiple journeys we undertake. So today, we journey from all that has occurred between our heart spaces to ride up from the Kantha, the Vishuddhi, to the Agna, or the brow chakra mandala, commonly and most glamorously called the third eye. Kaboom! Everybody wants to activate that third eye. Everybody wants to be aligned with the third eye. What is this third eye? Is it going to be a capacity to look at things or look at people and do bhasma as Rudra, as Shiva did? Is the third eye going to give me X-ray vision? Is the third eye going to grant me the capacity to know what is coming tomorrow, day after, the year after, marks, a job opportunity, a relationship? Is it all about these siddhis or praptis? Is it all about these little power plays, games and leelas of the senses, really? Because all that we're talking about right now to do with the third eye, the capacities in the physical realm of the third eye, is of the senses, right? So yes, maybe with years of sadhana, or maybe minutes for some of us. There are very senior meditators here in our group. And for you, you know who you are. For you, it's a matter of seconds to escape into those realms and to attain or dissolve into and emerge from spaces of siddhis or sensory or extrasensory perceptions and powers, capacities. But is that what this is about? The shift, the new decade, the new consciousness? A lot of that will occur. Anyone staying in deep practice, in deep sadhana, in the yoga, in the true union of body, breath, mind and consciousness, an age where siddhis or these sensory, extrasensory, parasensory potentials or potentialities will open up very easily. Because these are all powers innately found in raw nature, in the beings of Mother Earth. We say animals have a lot of extrasensory powers. And so the opening up of the earth energies will be opening up of a lot of extrasensory, parasensory, metaphysical powers, no doubt. But what we are journeying to is connecting and aligning with the clarity, with a very clear perspective, with a very clear capacity to evaluate, to look at, to respond to our life journey henceforth. The third eye opening, the third eye awareness. So I believe that everything is already open and functioning in its precision, exactly how it's meant to be. That which is cosmic, that which is of the non-physical within my physical system, within your physical system. Who am I in my physical limited presence, or my physical limited body and birth, to be able to change those vibrations, or to be able to tune or align or activate that which is already cosmic, that which is already infinite in my system, that is always working precisely as it should be. It is our awareness that has moved away from that functioning. So the misalignment is not in the chakra mandalas or in the functioning of the energy body. It is a misalignment in my understanding and my aligning and my awareness of their functioning. So I can no longer dip into that and draw from their perfection. I cannot dip into my Mooladhara, or I cannot dip into my Manipura, or I cannot dip into my Sahasrara or Anahata or Vishuddhi as and when I require, because I have moved so far away from my innate nature, isn't it? So all these journeys that I undertake personally and I humbly share are only attempts, feeble human attempts, to bring us back, to draw us back into an awareness, riding on that thread that connects it all, the connect between that and this, the connect between the para and metaphysical and the micro and physical, is the breath. So drawing from the awareness of breath, sound, energy, crystals, everything is an extension of that vibration of breath or life force. The pranic breath, the subtle breath, the physical breath, the Ida Pingala Sushumna pranic breaths, lighting up and touching everything that is my being totality. So, because we are going to be functioning from the diaphragm upward, we'll work on the diaphragm, the Manipura, on the 15th. I will do a special on the 15th. So, working from that space of diaphragm, we will connect. That's your space of connections, whether with the physical plane or the esoteric or the godly or the consciousness planes. So we started with the heart spaces, where we're predominantly going to be projecting life from. Thankfully, the time of loving and healing and softer, finer, beautiful exchanges between mankind and beings and the earth is coming. So predominant functioning from the space of heart and Akasha, and the Vishuddhi, telling our truth, owning our truth, accepting and embracing the truth that comes upon us. A lot of Hallahall, venom from society, from ideologies, from civilization, from understandings and communication. This is all about communication. All this space is about communicating. So as the churning happens, as the movements happen, of course with all the beautiful soft nectar, a lot of venom will rise, a lot of Hallahall will rise, which we must consume and grab and keep within the kantha, so that it doesn't go into the heart spaces, it doesn't go into our body systemics, it doesn't go into our energy fields, and we don't express venom. But it is to absorb and own and embrace the truths, so that clarity, when it comes from the Agna, shows us exactly what choices we are to make, shows us exactly how we will shift from spaces of reaction to spaces of responding to life and the stimuli of life. So today we will move in a reverse flow from what we have done in the last 2 days. The last 2 days we have worked from drawing and inhaling from the Moola Agna, the root of the Agna. We have drawn and filled our presence unto the heart spaces, in the Hridaya, in the Anahata. Today we will inhale the physical breath. We will allow the physical breath to enter from the left nostril, from the left moon passage, the moon breath. Anything mystical, anything deep and intuitive is the moon. We are the moon-kissed tribe. So breathing from the left nostril into the heart space, into the Akasha, where the physical breath and the pranic breath will become one, and we'll exhale out up the Vishuddhi and to the Agna, higher up between the brow, and exhale out into the universe. Becoming aware of the opening, becoming aware of the possibilities that occur when the capacity to absorb, own, and speak the truth of my being, my words, my actions, my purpose, myself, and the clarity that comes once you have owned truth, once you live in truth, once you come from a space of truth always. So get comfortable unto your seating, arrive unto a space that is physically comfortable. Those of us who are in practice can sit in a Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana, lotus pose, or a Siddhasana, or a Siddha Sukhasana, that is tucking the left foot in and the right placed on the floor before you, immediately pushing the lower spine, the back up. If you tend to kind of slouch, if you tend to see that your spine goes a little droopy, you can put a bolster or a folded blanket below you to sit on, to just give that prana sanchara pathway, the spine, a little boost, and make sure that you sit up straight. The palms, as always, are placed facing upward upon the lap. As we arrive unto an absolute ease in body, there is no tension anywhere, there's just ease upon the body. And breathe, always breathe. Let's meet our breath. And relax completely, allowing an awareness of breath to completely meld into your body, into your awareness. Breathe in and breathe out. Surrendering all awareness, all ownership, all sensory knowing of the weight of your body, the weight of your thoughts, the weight of actions up until this breath, this moment. Everything coming to stillness, to sthirata. Everything is so sthir. Stay. Just stay in this space. Inhale and exhale effortlessly. Don't try to control the breath, don't try to stop it, but note softly, observe softly how the physical breath breathes inside, goes deep into the pelvic crucible and pauses. As ease grows, the pause increases. Naturally, without a kumbhak, we are not doing a kumbhak, it just ease in breath as it pauses and turns to be breathed out. This physical breath is so beautiful and so full, so complete in every cycle. Carries the rhythms of life, carries the sustenance of life in every inhale, filling me in every pause, and exhaling, releasing all that has collected and is not needed in my system, detoxing my body, my breath, my being, my mind, my emotions, my entanglements and tangles. Exhale gently, allowing the breath to deepen and slow down just naturally. The more you ride the breath, the more you swim within that passage, that river flow of breath, the deeper and softer and slower the breath gets. Allow it space to expand and broaden and just pour into your being. And as an ease of breath, as an ease of flow arrives unto the body, breath, being in consciousness, allowing the eyes to close themselves, taking your time to allow that dropping of the gaze, letting go of the gaze, dissolving from the outside to the within. Take your time to dissolve. Take your time to draw in those sensations and sensory stimuli from the external. Take your time. As I breathe in, inhale the physical breath. I begin with surrender to Mother Earth, with gratitude and honor to Mother Earth, and grounding myself. So with every inhale, inhaling into the earth, allowing the physical breath to be breathed in into the earth, and the dharana or the visualization is of sending out roots, sending out strands to ground and root yourself into she, from who I emerge, Mother Earth. Just dropping all control, dropping all I-ness and me-ness, and holding, just letting it go into those roots. Inhaling and strands of roots shining into the earth, anchoring, holding, grounding, earthing into the earth. Inhale and rooting yourself. In the pause, turning, and exhale, expanding up, sprouting strands of awareness, branches and leaves of light. With the exhale, as everything clears, everything debrides, everything just detoxifies and opens up. as every exhale just clears the system up, readying it for the sanchar of prana. Inhale and invoking, now inviting the breath to be inhaled by the left nostril. Don't try and check. You tend to put your hands up to see where you're breathing from. Don't try and check physically. Allowing the eyes to remain as they are closed. The body remaining sthir, shanta, balanced. Just invoke. Do an avahanam, inviting the breath to shift, to be inhaled from the left nostril. And trust breath, trust life-giving breath. For the breath knows. Inhaling through the left, past the nasal passage, the throat expanding always at the heart space, down the torso, down the legs and into the earth. Pausing and turning and expressed, branching out, growing, evolving into the right nostril, expressed breath. And as we deepen this sanchar of shwasa, swara, of breath, the song of breath, breathing in through the left, and you will just know when the shift or the vibhajana of the breath of the Ida Pingala has occurred, because the left of the body will start to feel soft, supple, a little cool, moist, malleable like dough. So the left will start feeling very soft. And the right will start feeling a little empowered, a little strong. So if this becomes earth and dough, the left becomes soft and lyrical, the right becomes empowered and emboldened. Almost stone-like, almost metallic, almost immovable and strong. Breathing in through the left nostril. In the next cycle of breath, we allow the physical breath to be breathed into the heart space. And in that expansion, it becomes one with the pranic breath, expanding to rise up to the Vishuddhi, and breathed out through the Agna between the brows. The dharana or the visualization is of breathing in a whole moon, dissolving it onto the heart until it is an Amavasya or a no moon at the heart, and then rising, and it grows once again at the throat, a half moon, and out a full moon again, out from the Agna. When I say Agna, do not focus on a point or a Bindu, but the perception is of the entire space of the brow to the front of the head and the back of the head. So the entire circle of the brow, the girdle of the brow, is where the chakra mandalas dance within. So we breathe in from the left nostril into the heart space, a full moon, breathing in and melting as it goes down, reaching half moon at the throat on the way down, and a no moon or Amavasya at the heart space, melting into the Akasha, and then rising as prana, growing once again into the half moon at the throat, the Vishuddhi, and emerging as another full moon again from the brow. Just remaining in that consciousness, in that awareness. Arriving into that rhythm of a whole month. Every breath is a whole month cycle of starting at a full moon, the physical moon, entering, dissolving into the Akasha, becoming a no moon, and rising as a etheric or pranic moon again, half moon at the throat, and a full moon emerging from the brow. So we're living a month in each breath cycle, merging the physical breath with the pranic breath. I breathe in the physical breath, the pranic breath is pouring in already. So I breathe in the physical breath, and at the heart space it becomes one with the pranic breath, all separation fading as it rises, a half moon at the throat and a full moon out through the brow. Just remain in this breath for a few cycles without even my voice. the depth and ease of the cycle grows and deepens. A wholeness or stillness or completeness descends upon your whole being. The palms upon your lap allow them to move very gently and slowly, so that you place the left palm at the throat pit, just gently caressing the throat pit, and the right hand upon the brow. Breathing in the same cycle of inhale from the left nostril, a whole moon, melting a half moon at the throat pit and dissolving into the Akasha of the heart, a no moon. Pauses and rises again, a half moon at the throat, growing to emerge again as a full moon from the brow. Sensations in the brow, in the forehead, at the back of the forehead, the back of the head, small little drumming or tapping sensations. The hands are just to ease the physical movements or sensations that may occur. The throat feels a little cool or cold. Some of you may cough. It's just the loosening of what is held back. And the brow begins to heat up as the Ajna begins to come into our awareness more and more. When you have steadied, when you have assimilated these sensations, you can let the palms return back to the lap. And inhale, keeping this flow of breath going. With every exhale, begin to drop, begin to let your head move upward and tilt backward. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Inhale. Stay with your head as far back, just completely let go. Completely allow the head to drop as far back. It's like you're dropping into the lap of the mother. You are held, remember? You are held by the mother. You have no fear of falling. She will never let you fall. So let go of all sensation or belief that you hold yourself up. That is the first untruth, that I control, I am, I do. So letting go of that ownership, letting go of that I, me that we hold, even the biggest untruth we collect in our throats is that. So as an ease, I will not be able to roll my head back because I can't talk then. But allow it to just draw. All the way. The more aware of the workings of the truth, the more aware of letting go and the capacity of letting go that we allow into our system, the more easily you will go, effortlessly you will go and let go. Let the head drop. Do not open your eyes in the process. And completely allowing the Vishuddhi, Chakramandalas, the throat pit, the collarbones, the back of the neck, completely extended and expanded. And the brow completely open. And the pupils move towards the brow as the head tilts back, as the head rolls back. The pupils automatically tilt towards the center of the brow. Follow that gaze inward. Follow the non-gaze or the non-seeing inward gaze towards the brow and see where that fire of non-sight, fire of all-seeing, a trikona again of two fire arrows from the eyes, piercing or shooting into the brow area. A little boot camp of energy work we're doing. So as you're exhaling that half moon at the throat, growing into the full moon at the brow, and these arrows of fire, the gaze is fire, seeing and unseeing is Agni Tattva. So the fire of sight turned in, shooting through into that moon. Let's see, where can you pierce the moon and aware of where along the brow, it's even to the back of the head. Your arrows could be going to the back of the head. Being conscious of where these sharp Agni Kendras, the Agni Banas, the arrows of awareness, fire into that whole awareness of the Agna. We're activating and opening up the brow. And bring the left hand, again very slow movement, very easy movement. Bring the left hand up to your brow, the tilted head, and using your thumb, place it where you instinctively feel like placing it on the brow, between the eyebrows. It could be banked between the eyebrows, it could be mid-forehead, it could be towards the top, maybe to one of the sides. Very instinctively, just see where your thumb goes instinctively. It will be drawn, it will be naturally pulled to where your center lies. Ideally, it should be around the center, but see where your consciousness takes you. So to that turned head, you just press down. You will press down with your thumb, the left thumb, using the Agni Tattva, and press down, pressure, pressure, press down, and ease whatever is holding back, ease whatever is tensed or not willing to yield. With your head still tilted back. And just ease the whole brow area. And just stay there. Mild pulsations, mild sensations of some movement might begin behind the ears, between the head. You will feel like your head is bobbing. It is not, it's just the energy is working. completely surrendered, completely giving in, completely letting go of the self to the self. We're not letting go to anyone who is alien or a stranger. So don't be afraid, you're just letting go unto your own self. Letting go unto your own awareness and your own whole consciousness. Stay there for as long as you are guided by breath, guided by awareness as always. Your own breath, your own awareness, your own consciousness knows it all and knows nothing at all. Remaining in breath, be conscious to not stop breathing. There may be a tendency of the cognitive mind to hold the breath. Let go in that ease of full moon. Breathe in from the left, growing into a half moon at that open Vishuddhi, churning the waters, bringing out all your truth and growing, dissolving into its darkness. And when it's birthed fully into its darkness, it emerges again, begins to grow into its wholeness or lightness, the half moon at the throat again, and now growing into its lightness and out through that brow, pulsating brow by now. Staying surrendered. It's a very easy space now. It's returning to the lap of the mother. How often do we do that now as grown-ups? Held by the Mother Earth, you are safe, you are secure, you are comfortable in repose, easing. If the vibrations feel like they've really grown, if you feel literally like you're shaking, there might be this shaking of this kind of a movement where the physical body is not moving but the energies will be bobbing, 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 throat upward. Just still yourself, give into the vibrations. In the next exhale cycles, with every fullness of the moon emerging from the brow, bringing the head back to its normal stance slowly, with every exhale a little bit. Inhaled into the all dark birthing of the no moon. Exhale, evolving and growing and stilling and shining and radiating. Inhale, pause and exhale. Coming back to a centered sthiti, to a samana sthiti, an equal sthiti. The awareness of non-separate shwasa and prana, where the physical and metaphysical have worked as one. The body, breath, being in consciousness have emerged as one. Just remaining in that sthiti, in that state of balance, and allowing the breath now to just fall into a very equal rhythm. You will be softly conscious of the breath kind of moving equally through the nostrils. And exhale, gently allowing the brow to return. It will be feeling hot, the ears and the brow and the head will be feeling hot, warm. Gently allowing those pulsations, those vibrations to settle down, to ease. The throat, the Vishuddhi, the neck, the collarbones, moving from that cool to cold to a normal temperature. And openness dissolving into its regular physical state. Allow them space, allow them time to return to the here and now. Just enjoy those sparks of new perspectives and perceptions, and bringing the pupils, bringing the gaze back into its floating in these lakes of your eyes. The pupils just resting easily within the eyes, the closed eyes. Letting go of the awareness of the brow, easing them back, letting them drop back into those bowls of seeing. And you will have a sensation of perception of everything that is outside. For a while, even with your closed eyes, you will actually be able to see whatever is around you. You will be able to perceptively note things around you. It's almost like you can see through these delicate skins of the eyelids. Allowing all the pulsations, all the vibrations, all the non-physical movements and rhythms playing from the collarbone to the top of the brow, to the back and the front, as they return to normalcy. Returning to the awareness of the here and now. Using your right hand, the right middle or ring fingers, to gently tap upon the brow. Just tap a few times. Delicate but firm. Just tap the eyebrows. Tap around the brow. Tap where the Agna resides, between the brows, between the center of the forehead. Tap it a few times. And in the exhale, allowing the eyes to move from the non-gaze into the gaze. Opening, allowing the eyes to open themselves. And breathe. Into the here and now. A brightness, a lightness of seeing occurs. You can look without staring or gazing sharply. You can just look at things now. A clarity of vision, a clarity of seeing truly. the difference of reacting and response, the shift of looking and seeing, the shift from talking to speech or vani, the shift from just moving from moment to moment to completely tasting and listening and experiencing all of life fully dawning upon us. This is a deep process. This is a beautifully, beautifully immersive process. This is your self process. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you delve into it fully. I hope you emerge from it wholly. This will be very inviting. This will be very addictive. And I would advise us in the beginning, if you are to do this, after our practice where we've kind of done 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. I was just going to say that after these 3 days, what happens is the abundance and manifestation grows manifold. And you know what started playing automatically on the playlist? I'm just playing the music on the other phone. And just automatically, I have no words. I don't think you can see the light. Enjoy it for a while. Surrender. Surrender. So maybe I will share this particular track, it's off YouTube. I'll share this track on the post. You can meditate upon this after you've done the process. And today we've been at it for like an hour odd now. My God, our times together are growing longer and longer and deeper and deeper. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we culminate our journey, this journey. I'm sure there will be many more. And of course, I decided yesterday that I will do a special for us here on the 15th of January. So those who wish to regroup and come together again on the 15th, we'll have a great Uttarayan, be together in that shift. I'll look up the Horat calendar and I'll tell you what time. That one should ideally be live. And because the quality of live is not so good, so maybe I will record and then we'll do a watch party, which we didn't do that day, but we can all watch it together and then we can talk. But this process, do a Mahalakshmi meditation after, because what happens is when you've kind of churned the Vishuddhi or the seas of truth, what happened during the churning of the manthan of the celestial seas was the emerging of a lot of gifts from when you separate the venom from the gifts or the nectar rises, and along with that abundance in all the gems and ratnas and the music and all the beauties and richness of life. Okay, richness of life is not merely of money and things and gold, and of course that the Ratnas emerged and Mahalakshmi emerged, and she emerged. So may all the abundance in all aspects, in all expressions of life, emerge easily, flow effortlessly as our perceptions, as our vision, as our speech, as our truth, as our embracing of them shifts into the new consciousness. I will write out a little note to this post, and see you tomorrow. Till then, Shiva Asti. Be whole, be radiant, be truth personified.